will land. And now for the participants in today's game. The visiting manager from Rancho Penasquitos American is Colin Stowell. The home manager from Coronado is Rob Miller. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 24, starting pitcher, Kelvin Stowell. And from the home team, Coronado, number 55, starting pitcher, Nick Kazowski. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 29, starting right fielder, Connor Bondoff. From Coronado, number 2, third baseman, Ben Williams. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 28, the shortstop, Andrew Ruby. From Coronado, number 61, starting right fielder, Brandon Depperson. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 35, the starting first baseman, Tyler Bridges. Also playing first base from Coronado, number 52, Colin Douglas. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 30, the starting pitcher, Tyler Cunningham. From Coronado, left fielder, number 58, August Miller. From Rancho Penasquitos American, starting second baseman, number 23, Mitch Crane. From Coronado, starting second baseman, number 26, Garrett Herman. From Rancho Penasquitos American, the starting third baseman, number 41, Ed LaRosa. From Coronado, starting center fielder, number 29, Jake Lamb. From Rancho Penasquitos American, the left fielder, number 40, Ethan Seppa. From Coronado, starting pitcher, number 59, Jared Pratt. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 22, Derek Imperial. From Coronado, number 11, Heath Miller. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 21, Brian Ingley. From Coronado, number 28, Sean Hiley. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 26, Jack O'Brien. From Coronado, number 47, Bruin Roulier. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 31, McKenna Gentry. From Coronado, number 30, Andy Rogers. Get out there, Andy. From Rancho Penasquitos American, number 27, Jake Kiliakova. From Coronado, number 56, Nate McNeil. Coaching for the visiting Rancho Penasquitos American team is Steve Ruder. From Coronado, Coach J.D. Douglas. Coaching for Rancho Penasquitos American, Paul Imperial. Coaching for Coronado, Jim Depperson. And to lead us today in the Pledge of Allegiance from Coronado is Hank McNeil.
From Mira Mesa Field, this is the Intermediate Division of Little League Baseball for District 32, and it's the only district that does the Intermediate Division of Little League Baseball. Hello again, everybody. I'm Greg G.K. Porter for Langevin Productions. This game features Coronado All-Stars versus the Rancho Penasquitos American All-Stars. Let's get the defensive arrangement for Coronado All-Stars. In left field, 58, August Meldon. In center field, 29, Jake Lamb. In right field, number 61 is Brandon Depperschmidt. At first base, 52, Colin Douglas. Second base, 26, Garrett Herman. Your shortstop, number 11, Heath Miller. In third base is 39, Ben Williams. The pitcher is Nick Kozowski, and a catcher is Jared Pratt. Nick is 55 and Jared is 59. Let's get the first three batters for Rancho Penasquitos American, head coached by Colin Stoll and Steve Reeder. Colin Stoll is the manager, Steve Reeder is the coach, and Paul Imperial is the coach. Number 24, Kelton Stowell, followed by Connor Bondak, and then Andrew Reeder. Here's number 24, Kelton Stoll, the catcher, stepping in from the left side against the right-hander. Number 55, Nick Kozowski. First pitch from Nick is a strike to Stoll. 0-1 a count. In intermediate division, if you're not knowledgeable about the rules, well, it's 50 feet from the hill to home plate, 70 feet between the base paths, is 40 feet 6 inches in normal majors Little League Baseball, and 60 feet between the base paths. We'll get the rest of it after this pitch. Timeout on the field. There's some baseballs out here, and they've been retrieved. Count is 0-1 to Kelton Stoll. Kozowski, the windup and the delivery is another strike. And he comes out throwing strikes. 0-2 to count to Stoll. Stoll behind the count. A couple of practice swings, and he's ready to go. Kozowski has the pitch he wants and delivers, and it's a ball. Just missed the plate that time. 1-2. When a player gets on base, he can lead off. Next pitch is outside for ball 2. Now it's 2-2 to Stoll. Connor Bondak is on deck. And then that player can also be picked off by the pitcher with pickoff moves. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Kelton Stoll strikes out for the first out of the inning for Rancho Penasquitos American. And now here's number 29, Connor Bondak, the right fielder. Steps in from the right side. He shifted a little bit for Connor. Out in the outfield. First pitch in the outside corner for a strike to Bondak. Andrew Reeder is on deck. With one out here in the top of the first inning. The 0-1 delivery is a fastball for strike 2. Again, jumping out ahead of the count is Kozowski on Bondek. The 0-2 delivery is hit to right field, and it's going to go all the way and hop the fence. It'll be a ground rule double. So Connor Bondek drives the ball to right center field, and he will have a ground rule double. First hit of the game for either team. Obviously, he's only the second batter of the game. Bondek on second. Here's number 28, Andrew Reeder, the shortstop. Both these two teams undefeated coming into play. And District 32 All-Star action. You don't understand what the All-Stars is players that are the best players from around the league representing their teams. And the first pitch is a ball to Andrew Reeder. And this is the first time that Nick Kozowski started off with a ball against a batter. It jumped ahead on both batters to start off the game. We'll lead off by Bondek, second. And a pitch to the plate is a ball. And now Kozowski's down 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Andrew Reeder. Next pitch outside, and now he's falling behind. Can't locate against Reeder. And he's behind 3 balls and no strikes with 1 out. Bondek standing at second base after the ground rule double to right center field. Tyler Bridges is on deck. Kozowski's pitch to the plate is outside, and he walks him on 4 pitches. So runners on first and second as Reeder walks. Bridges, number 35, first baseman, is up. Stepping in from the right side. Very tall youngsters. This is 11 and 12-year-olds, just the same ages as in the majors division. But as I mentioned, they can do some different things. More towards Major League Baseball and the college and that. High school. And now Bondek is going to take off to third as that ball gets away from the catcher. So Bondek is at third now, and Reeder says, I'm going to follow and go down to second. So runners at second and third, and the head coach, Rob Miller, wants to talk to Kozowski. Tyler Bridges, 1 ball and no strikes with runners on second and third for Rancho Penasquitos American. They got something going here with 1 out. And that pitch is outside for ball 2 now. And again, falling behind on the next batter, Bridges, is Kozowski. That's 6 straight balls by Kozowski. Really having a hard time trying to locate the strike zone. Misses on, or he did get it on the outside corner. Runners on second and third. No score, just the top of the first inning. Wind blowing from the outfield towards home plate. 2-2 now. 2 straight strikes now by Kozowski, evening up the count. Tyler Cunningham is on deck. So 2-2. Tyler Bridges. Kozowski's windup and delivery is high and outside for ball 3. And now it's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to count. Tyler Bridges. Full count, the runners will be moving. The 3-2 delivery is outside ball 4. And Bridges now will have a walk. And that is the second walk in a row for Nick Kozowski. And now he's loaded him up for number 30, Tyler Cunningham, the pitcher. Undoubtedly, Coronado will be trying to get a double play out of this. There is going to be a runner now for Tyler Bridges at first base. I believe it's Brian Ingley. Tough to see from here. Got to rely, and now I see a little bit of his number. It is Brian Ingley. First pitch to Cunningham is a fastball outside for ball 1. The first 2 batters he jumped out ahead on, and now the last 2 batters he's had to struggle. Therein lies 2 walks, and the bases are loaded. Again, not able to locate, and it's 2-0 to Tyler Cunningham. Mitch Crane is going to be on deck, or is on deck, and is going to get his opportunity. But right now, Cunningham has an opportunity to put his team out ahead in a big way. The pitch is outside for ball 3. Well, he'll say he could take it by walking as well. And that'll put him up 1-0. They've been able to put big scores up in the District 32 Intermediate Division play for 2013. Kozowski's pitch is waved in and missed. Lower half of the strike zone is 3-1. So he had the green light at 3-0, and he couldn't get that pitch. 3-1 to count to Cunningham. The 3-1 delivery is down too low. And that must have been 2-2. So now it is full count, 3-2. Tough to hear the home plate umpire sometimes with the strikes, and there's no scoreboard here to help me out. Now the 3-2 pitch is outside ball 4. So Tyler Cunningham gets a walk, forces in a run, and it is 1-0 as Bondak scores. Still 1 out. Mitch Crane, number 23, steps in. He's a second baseman with the bases loaded and 1 out. His team leading 1-0. Kozowski, after 3 straight walks, comes with a strike to Crane. He's up against it now. He's really got to have to throw strikes with 1 out. Otherwise, he creates more problems. This one has popped up, and it's going to be foul, way foul, out of play. So now he's ahead on Crane, 0-2. The Coronado hurler, Nick Kozowski. Crane going to try to protect the plate, and he watches it go outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Crane, the number 6 man in the lineup. Bases loaded, 1 out. RP American leading 1-0. And it gets away from the catcher, but nobody's going to take off home. Not far enough away from the catcher, Jared Pratt. Two balls and 2 strikes to Crane. The 2-2 delivery is hit down to second base. Second baseman has it. He'll throw ahead of the runner, and he won't be able to get him. He'll throw home, and the run will score. Now they're going to try to not have a play at second base. Crane goes all the way down to second base. Reeder scores. Bridges scores. Cunningham standing at third base. The batter, Nick LaRosa, number 41, third baseman. Your score now, 3-0, RP American. One ball and no strikes now to count to Nick LaRosa. Ethan Sapah will have an opportunity. He's on deck. Play 7 innings in Intermediate Division baseball. Two strikes now on Nick LaRosa. Nick Kozowski trying to collect himself here. Limit the damage. His team is down 3-0. Next pitch down too low. Runners take their lead off of second and third. Rancho Penasquitos American, and the slow roller going to be a tough play. The catcher in fair territory throws, and it's not going to be in time. The run from third scores, the run from second scores, and they have two more runs in, does RP American, and it's 5-0. They've had double-digit victories in this District 32 Intermediate Division so far. A beautiful infield single by Nick LaRosa. Got everything going, and he's standing at second. Number 40, Ethan Sapah, the left fielder, is up. Still, with only one out in the inning. Total of 5 runs have crossed home plate. First pitch is a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. And they're about ready to turn it over, the lineup over. Unless Coronado can get the next 2 batters. Waving at it and missing. 1-1 account to Ethan Sapah. So Rancho Penasquitos American in business here in this District 32 matchup between they and Coronado here in the first inning. Kozowski comes to the windup and deals outside. The curveball, not close, and the throw to third is over to the third baseman, the shortstop backing up. Doesn't go further into left field. But getting over to third base is Nick LaRosa. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Sapah. And 70 feet away from scoring the 6th run is Nick LaRosa. Kozowski, the windup, the pitch. Low and outside now for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike, and it's interesting to see the tricks that these 11 and 12-year-olds will learn, like what the advanced levels of baseball have been able to learn and do. And now the opportunity resides at the young age. Swung and a missed. Took something off that pitch. Way out in front is Sapah. Full count now. Actually, that was a strikeout there. A strikeout swinging. 2 outs. Derek Imperial, number 22, steps up. Center fielder. Nothing in 1 now to count to Imperial. Kozowski now thinking, I got to get out of this inning. Give my teammates a chance to try and catch up. while me stymieing any further damage. 0-2 now to count to Derek Imperial as he's throwing strikes and he's catching a corner. It's Kozowski. He's given up a double and a total of 3 walks in a row. And then a couple of defensive errors. But he gets Imperial on a called strike 3. And so we will go to the bottom half of the first inning. And the score is 5 for Rancho Penasquitos American, 0 for Coronado. Ethan Sapah is the left fielder, number 40. Center fielder, number 22, Derek Imperial. Number 29 at right field is Connor Bondak. First base is number 35, Tyler Bridges. Over at second is 23, Mitch Crane. The shortstop is number 28, Andrew Reeder. Over at third base is number 41, Nick LaRosa. The pitcher is Tyler Cunningham, number 30. The catcher is number 24, Kelton Stoll. Nick Kozowski will step in, number 55, the pitcher for Coronado All-Stars. And Nick had a tough first inning pitching-wise. His team is down 5-0. First pitch is low. For a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Tyler Cunningham up on a hill, the right-hander, facing the left-hander, Kozowski. And obviously Nick Kozowski is a switch hitter because he was pitching right. Cunningham's pitch is down too low. Now having a problem in the strike zone is Cunningham. Ben Williams, number 39, is on deck. Brandon Deppersmith is in the hole. Kozowski thought that was ball 4, trying to entice the home plate umpire, but that didn't work. Cunningham has the pitch he wants, comes to the plate, and it's hit hard down to the shortstop on a couple of bounces. His throw is in time. Good throw by the shortstop, Andrew Reeder. Here's number 39, the third baseman, Ben Williams. Nick Kozowski scored 6-3 for the putout. Here's Ben from the right side. Cunningham's pitch is a strike. 0-1 to count to Ben Williams. Flags picking up a little bit, going in a different direction now. Headed towards right field. Nothing in 2 to count to Ben Williams. Brandon Deppersmith is on deck. And he went far enough. Striking out swinging is Ben Williams for the second out of the inning. And now here's 61, Brandon Deppersmith, the right fielder. Coronado down 5-0 with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Way out in front of that one was Brandon. 0-1. Intermediate division of baseball. The only division That is intermediate division for District 32. And the only division in San Diego County that is intermediate division of baseball. So District 32 with the first ever honors filed away, and there'll be many other districts following suit, abandoning their majors division and going to the intermediate division of baseball. The Western Regionals will be in Irvine this year. And hit squarely in the back, and that really, really hurts. It'd be sore there. So the first hit by the pitch in the game, and Brandon victimized with that. But Cunningham as well, as now there's a runner on first base with 2 outs. Here's 52, Colin Douglas, the first baseman. Neither team has made a straight steal yet, but we will see how that goes because, again, in the intermediate division of Little League Baseball, they can lead off. Don't have to wait until it crosses the plate and can take off on a pitcher. And that's exactly what Brandon Deppersmith does. Even though he was hitting the back, he says, I'm going down to second base. I'm going to try to exact a little bit of pain back towards the Rancho Peñasquitos American team by stealing a base. So he stands at second. Douglas, a golden opportunity to get a run in. He can't get that pitch, though. Nice pitch by Cunningham. 1-2 to count. Hit on a bounce. A tough play for the shortstop. Long throw. He's got a good arm, but the first baseman drops the baseball. And so legging it out is Colin Douglas. So Colin Douglas is aboard on the first baseman's error. And now here's 58, August Meldon, the left fielder, with Brandon Deppersmith at third base. Golden opportunity to get the first run across for Coronado All-Stars, who have put some runs up in their games in this District 32 Intermediate Division for 2013. First pitch is inside for a ball to Meldon. 1 ball and no strikes. Both teams undefeated in play for the first time ever of their little leagues in the Intermediate Division. Caught the corner on that one on a nice pitch by Cunningham. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 gone. Bottom half of the first inning, runners on first and third, the corners for Coronado. The next one is hit to right field, and it's going to split. Both the right fielder and center fielder hop the wall. It'll be a ground roll double, and 1 run will score, and it is 5-1. And I just mentioned Coronado can score, and they just did that on a ground roll double by August Meldon. So Meldon standing at second. Douglas is at third with Deppersmith, the first run of the game, being plated for Coronado. 4-run deficit Coronado faces right now with 2 outs. We're still in the first inning. 6 runs have come across the plate combined for both teams just here in the first inning. This could be a high-scoring game. Number 26, Garrett Herman, the batter. First pitch to Garrett. It's a strike. Another strike to Herman. One strike away from getting out of the damage that's already occurred for Cunningham and his team here in the first inning. And striking out is Garrett Herman, swinging for the third out. So we go to the top of the second inning. Your score, Rancho Penasquitos American 5, Coronado 1. Top of the order for Rancho Penasquitos American here in the second inning. 5-1 RP American leads in this intermediate division, the 50-70 they call it. Kelton Stoll steps in. Again, as I mentioned, number 55, Nick Kozowski, pitching right. But when he got up there to lead it off for his team, he was batting left. First switch hitter that we've seen in intermediate division. Again, intermediate division, this is the first year of it. It's inception. So there'll be many more switch hitters we'll see. Stoll struck out swinging his first time up. He wasn't able to be one of those 5 runners that came across later in the inning. Kozowski would like to try to do the same thing. Wind blowing from center field to home plate. Blowing in, as they would call it, Wrigley Field. Boy, at Wrigley, you don't want to see it blow out. Well, the batters do. Pitchers don't. Pitch is inside, and Kelton Stoll will have a walk this time. Here's number 29, Connor Bondak. And if you remember, he was the one that split him between center field and right field. And that ball, a ground rule double. We have some changes. This is new pitcher is going to come out. And if we look at the roster, we see that August Meldon is going to be the new pitcher. We'll take a pause. The book closes on Nick Kozowski, and he allowed 5 runs, 2 hits. The 3 walks victimized him, but he had 3 strikeouts. And now it's August Meldon on the hill. Meldon with nobody out, facing Connor Bondak, who, as I mentioned, ground rule doubled against Nick Kozowski. Get things going. A throwback at first base. And already August Meldon testing his pickoff move against Kelton Stoll over there at first. Pitch to the plate is down too low for a ball. It's Connor Bondak. Already Connor has shown that he can make contact. See what he does against Meldon. Down too low now for ball 2. 2-0. Andrew Reeder awaiting his opportunity on deck for Rancho Penasquitos American. 2-0 delivery from the right-hander. Right down the middle of the plate. Takes a look in at the sign. Keeping mindful of Stoll over at first. Comes set to the plate. And taking off is Stoll. And Stoll will be there safely. As you can see there, I didn't mention, you can head first slide You cannot do that in the majors of Little League Baseball, the one you see the World Series on ESPN and all that. But you can in the intermediate division. Therein lies one of the differences. It's a bounding ball. This is going to be a tough play. Nobody's going to have a play. And Bondak is safe again. And now Stoll sees nobody there, and he goes to third base, but he's out. Great play by the pitcher, August Meldon, to get over there and tag him out. So 1 out. Heads up play by Meldon. And now, he may not be out. He is safe at third base. So, base paths umpire making a mistake. And as he conferred with a home plate umpire, now the manager for Coronado is not happy with the decision. So Stoll standing at third safely. It all got started by contact by Connor Bondak, who has now 2 hits in this game. Here's 28 out, Andrew Reeder. Reeder, he walked the first time up, but that was against Kozowski. Meldon's pitch is a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Reeder. Now, Bondak and Reeder both scored the last time up. So, if you're Meldon, you don't want that to happen again. Of course, you don't want Stoll to come across as well as it's fouled away. 0-2 now. Is Meldon ahead of Reeder? Nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Stoll started off with a walk, and then infield single by Bondak, and this one's fouled away by Reeder down at first base line. Still behind in the count, 0-2. Trying to protect the plate there. His teammate 70 feet away at third base. Halfway around is Bondak, and a pitch. He's going to go to the right side off the pitcher's glove, and 1 run will score. There'll be 2 potentially as Bondak comes in, and catcher can't hold on to it, and they get 2 more runs, and they lead now 7-1. Good things happen in Little League Baseball when you make contact, and that's exactly what Reeder did. Got himself a single. 2 tough plays. The defensive arrangement out there for Coronado. And so now it's 7-1. Here's Tyler Bridges. Pitch to Bridges is waved and a miss for a strike. Have a correction now on the pronunciation of Connor. It's Bondak. So, giving it the wrong way initially, and now we have a correction, Bondak. Tough play off of Meldon's glove, but nice play by Kozowski, and it looks like they got the double play. Kozowski off the glove of his pitcher Meldon, and he points out to him and says, good play. Kozowski able to glove it, tag the bag, and then throw to first in time for the double play. Tyler Cunningham, number 30, is up to the plate. Unless they had a substitution in as a batter. They may have. The League Baseball, a lot of times you see substitutions occur. 7-1. You score. Rancho Penasquitos American leading Coronado here in the second inning with 2 gone. Pitch is a strike. Meldon trying to get out of this inning. Pitch down too low. Mitch Crane awaiting an opportunity on deck. Swung and a miss for strike 3. So they give up 2 runs in the inning. They're down now 7-1 to Rancho Penasquitos American as Coronado as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. And it looks like the home plate umpire has arrived. He's all in the appropriate gear. And so now we'll have to see whether the strike zone is similar. Usually it will stay that way. It doesn't matter in Little League Baseball as much. First pitch is a strike to Jake Lamb, number 29, a center fielder. One and one out of count. Coronado able to come up with 1 run in the first inning. And basically, even though they have an extra inning than what you would see in Majors Little League Baseball, they want to try to stay away from a goose egg in an inning because they are down by a total of 6 runs at this point. Pitch is outside. Jake Lamb. Jared Pratt is on deck, and Heath Miller is in a hole. Coronado All-Stars. District 32, Intermediate Division. Hit hard and into left field. Left fielder has a hard time with it now. Well, he tried to go for 2. Lamb, no, he's going to hold it first. Thought it got behind him there for a moment, and he found it. Did the left fielder, Ethan Sapah. So, Coronado has a runner on first base. Jared Pratt, number 59, steps in for the first time in this game. He's a catcher. Against Tyler Cunningham. Cunningham's first pitch is a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. You count? Cunningham looking in at the sign. Mindful of Lamb at first base. Comes to the plate. And it's a strike. 1-1 a count. Home plate umpire taking a long look at that one. One delivery. Down too low now for ball 2. Two balls and 1 strike to count to Jared Pratt. It's a little bit of a breeze blowing towards home plate. 2-1 delivery. It's a strike. It's 2-2, but stealing second base is Jake Lamb. Lamb showing his ability to steal a base there. 2-2 the count to Pratt. The 2-2 delivery is waved at and missed for strike 3. So 1 out now for Coronado in the second inning. Sent to bat number 11, Heath Miller, the shortstop. Miller with an opportunity here to runner at second base. Score the second run of the game for Coronado. Home plate umpire was checking something back behind home plate. Sets himself up, ready to go. Play ball. Tyler Cunningham. Comes set, comes to the plate, and it's whack foul off the fence. On the bench. Rancho Penasquitos American. Nothing one to count. To Miller. Nick Kozowski at the top of the order is on deck. Lamb takes a couple of steps off the second base bag. Cunningham looks him back, and the throw to the plate is down too low. Interesting to see what 11 and 12-year-olds can come up with. Trying to look runners back to the bag. Trying to pick them off. Fouled away. He actually didn't get a piece of that one. 1 and 2. Popped up. Calling for it is Cunningham, and he makes a play. Cunningham records the second out. 1U. You're keeping score. Top of the order, 55, Nick Kozowski. Remember, he switch hits. He'll do the same thing here. And something mentioned by my producer, he may not even bat right-handed. He may have always batted left-handed. That is something that does happen. Running down to third base is Lamb, and he's there safely on the wild pitch. So Lamb takes advantage of the errant pitch by Cunningham, and now he's only 70 feet away from putting the second run up on the board for Coronado. Hit hard into left field, and he will come across. Will Lamb? 2 runs now for Coronado on a base hit by Nick Kozowski. His second trip up at the plate. Solid single to left field. Now here's 39, Ben Williams, who struck out swinging his first time up. Score now 7-2. Rancho Penasquitos American still enjoying the lead. First pitch is a ball to Ben Williams. Cunningham taking a look over there at Kozowski at first base. Now wants to go over there, but not in time. Where's the player's arms out a little bit, the more you have to throw it, whether it's to home plate or trying to deal with the runner on the bag. And therein lies some different dynamics that you will see happen. 11 and 12-year-olds getting an opportunity to play like the older divisions. One and one to count. 1-1 delivery is hit behind the runner into right field. He might be able to plate Kozowski. Kozowski is going to be held up at third, and he gets a double down the right field line. Ben Williams. So Ben Williams late meeting that baseball, but he got enough of it to lace it down the right field line. His teammate Kozowski's at third. He stands at second. And Brandon Depperschmidt is at the plate. He was hit by the pitch the first time up. Mentioned earlier in the game that both of these two teams like to put runs on the board. And therein lies a combination of 9 here in the first 2 innings. Swung at and missed, but coming to the plate is Kozowski, and he will score. Not able to get to that baseball was Kelton Stoll. And so Kozowski comes across with the 3rd run of the game for Coronado. Moving to third base is Ben Williams on that play. So you begin to think that if August Meldon could have held them at bay, this would be even closer game. It'd be only a 2-run game. They gave up those 2 runs in the top of the inning. And that is why it is a 7-3 score vice a 5-3 score. Here in the bottom of the second, and hard, it is going to be hit over the fence for a home run. A 2-run home run by Brandon Depperschmidt. And there is now the 2-run deficit as it is 7-5. So Brandon Depperschmidt got all that pitch from Cunningham, and he deposited it over the center field fence. And it is now 7-5 in this District 32 Intermediate Division Baseball All-Star game. Colin Douglas, the batter now. First pitch is a strike to Douglas. So you can't sleep on this game. Both of these two teams putting runs on the board. Next pitch is inside for a ball. Plenty of hits in this matchup between Rancho Penasquitos America and Coronado. Down to the shortstop. His throw is in time. That retires his side, but not before Brandon Depperschmidt goes yard, and it is 7-5, Rancho Penasquitos American. Mitch Crane will lead it off for Rancho Penasquitos in the 3rd inning, followed by Nick LaRosa and Ethan Sepa. Mitch was aboard on the fielder's choice, and he hits it right by the pitcher, but a nice play by Kozowski. His throw is in time. Ranging past the second base bag is Kozowski, and he's able to throw him out. First out of the inning, and now here's number 41, Nick LaRosa, the third baseman, unless a substitution is applied here. McKenna Gentry is now stepping in as a replacement. And Gentry reaching out and hitting it right to first base. 3 unassisted. So first ball swing is the only girl on the team, McKenna Gentry. And hits it over to the first base position. Recorded for an out, 3 unassisted. Now there's 2 outs in the inning, and here's Ethan Sepa. Ethan struck out swinging his first time up. And now they're going to put a new player in. Substitute batter is Jake Kiliakoa. Manager Colin Stoll getting his subs in here in this third inning. It's usually about the time that you start seeing the substitute players come in. And I mentioned substitute only in word because these are all-stars, so they are players that are very, very good being able to be on this team. Hit hard, up in the air. First baseman calling for it. He backs up, and he almost didn't get it. Almost went over his head. But he was able to just reach out and catch that fly ball in the infield for the third out of the inning. So 3 up and 3 down. This time for Rancho Penasquitos American, and that's what Coronado needed. They are still down by 2, 7-5 as we go to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third inning. Coronado, August Meldon, the batter. First pitch to him catches the corner from Cunningham for a strike. 0-1. Meldon will be followed by Garrett Herman and Jake Lamb unless there are subs. Meldon had a ground rule double his first time up. And he hits one hard, but foul. Over into the other baseball field, joining here. Nobody playing though. There is a field that has a game, and that is right behind this field. I believe it's District 32. And the throw to first base, and they're able to record the out of August Meldon. Strikeout. One gone. And we'll take a pause here and see if it's Garrett Herman. And it looks like there's going to be a pitching change. We're going to take a pause, and we'll be back with the new pitcher. New pitcher in there for Rancho Penasquitos American. That's Andrew Reeder. Andrew Reeder's the new pitcher. Bruin Roulier is the batter. Roulier hits it into right field, and he will be there in time. What a throw. As Bonduc tried to throw him out, right field. Jake Lamb, the batter. And he hits it down a left field line. Just getting back to third base was Garrett Herman. He strayed off a third. And the throw and the tag was applied, but he just got in there. The Lamb hitting that ball all the way down the third base line, fair. Into left field, has himself a double. 2 straight hits off a Reeder. And Coronado's in business again. 1 out in the inning. Jarrett Pratt was due up. I believe it's Sean Miley now the batter. And that is correct. Sean Miley, the batter. And Miley strikes out. Swinging for the second out of the inning. Seven and 5, your score. Heath Miller here in the third inning for Coronado. Pitch to Miller is high and inside from Andrew Reeder. Reeder getting his first strikeout since he's come in here in this inning. Reeder in relief of Tyler Cunningham. This intermediate division game. There are no lights at this field. Well, this game is going to be one that is determined with as much sunshine that can be accurately played, and if not, it'll have to go into the next day. Garrett Herman standing, or Roulier standing at third base. And you got Sean Miley, who struck out. Jake Lamb is standing at second. Miller trying to tie this game up for his team. Outside ball 4, so Heath Miller gets a walk. Heath Miller is a go-ahead run. Go to the top of the order. Nick Kozowski. Kozowski singled his last time up. Eventually scored. The very first time up, he made contact but grounded out. 1 for 2 in 2 trips. Golden opportunity to get him even or hit. He hits it over to the second baseman. His throw's not in time. They have 1 run, and now they're going to have 2. Will he get down to third? He's safe over there. That's Heath Miller. It is a tie game now as Coronado has climbed all the way back to a tie. So Kozowski aboard on a fielder's choice. Nevertheless, he's aboard. He made contact at first base. Ben Williams doubled the last time up. And he has scored. 1 for 2 in 2 trips. Reeder seeing contact made against him, and there goes Kozowski. Straight steal down to second base. Next pitch to Ben Williams is down too low. I mentioned about the sun going down scenario. It's because both teams have put a lot of runs on the board, and this game is taking a lot longer than it would if it was a close, low-scoring game. And we're only in the bottom of the third inning. We still got 4 more innings to go. Home plate umpire likes to take a good look at it. Late decision on the strike, as opposed to some umpires who quickly give you that ball and strike decision. Runners on second and third. 2 outs in the inning. Lays down a first base line. First baseman has it. Goes to the bag in time to retire Williams. So that retires the side, but they get 2 runs. They have not been without a score in any inning. And only Rancho Penasquitos has had an inning where they did not score. And therein lies now a tie game as we go to the 4th inning, 7-7. Top of the 4th inning for Rancho Penasquitos American. Batters Derek Imperial. Actually, it's Jack O'Brien. That is the batter in the number 9 spot. Seven to 7 tie here in the 4th inning. Shadows starting to creep to the outfielders. Pitch is a strike. O'Brien. Let's see if both pitchers begin to settle down for both teams, and this game moves by quicker, or whether both teams will continue to pepper the field with base hits. We've already seen a couple of ground rule doubles, seen a home run, and a plethora of other dinks and dunks around the infield. Lots of action in this game. Therein lies the 7-7 score. Hit hard to right field, but foul. Off the fence, behind the bench of Coronado. Right here at Mira Mesa Field in Mira Mesa, California. Home of MCAS Miramar, formerly Naval Air Station Miramar. Good curveball, and it gets Jack O'Brien. First out of the inning. Go to the top of the order. Kelton Stoll. Stoll struck out in the first inning, and in the second he walked. Obviously, you've seen the aircraft flying overhead, and therein lies the military aircraft that you've seen. Right here in the city of Mira Mesa. See off in the foreground looking like there's a fire somewhere. It may be in the county, or it may be in Riverside County drifting down. And in the summertime, not unusual. Kozowski, nice glove, and a good long, strong throw is going to get Stoll. 6-3 for the second out of the inning. And Rancho Penasquitos American invert in a situation where they could be retired in a row for the second time. That's what happened in the third inning. They scored runs in the first 2 innings. They scored 5 in the first inning, 2 in the second inning, but have been shut down now for almost 2 innings. But Connor Bonduck, who has got aboard both times and scored both times with a double and a single. He's 2 for 2. Bonduck gets it deep. Back goes the center fielder. Away back. He catches this baseball. And that will retire the side. Bonduck likes to get bat on ball and has done so 3 times, but they finally retire him. And that's good things for Coronado. 7-7 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. This guy hit the home run last time. Bottom of the 4th inning for Coronado, all knotted up in a 7-7 tie in this intermediate division 50-70 game of Little League Baseball. Here's Brandon Deppersmith. Fouls it away. Deppersmith hit a home run the last time up. A 2-run home run. Got him closer. Within 2. Popped up. Center fielder can't catch it. It's a home run. Another home run for Brandon Deppersmith. That's 2 in a row, and his team leads now 8-7. Something while the thing, this time I shut up, let you just make the play. Colin Douglas, now the batter, and his team is ahead 8-7. Hits it right back to the pitcher. Pitcher has it. And a soft toss over to first for the first out of the inning. 1-3 if you're keeping score. Here's August Meldon. Meldon struck out the last time up, but he's also had a ground rule double. He's 1 for 2. One ball and no strikes to count. Pitch from Reeder is fouled away. 1-1 to count to Meldon. Next pitch by Reeder is outside for a ball. 2-1 to Meldon in the number 5 spot. Lineup of the Coronado All-Stars here in District 32 Intermediate Division, Little League Baseball. Reeder winds, comes to the plate. And strike 2 now on a corner. 2-2 now to count to August Meldon. Garrett Herman on deck with 1 out. Coronado, 4th inning. Three and two now. Curveball riding a little bit high in his strike zone. So 3-2 to count out. Three-two delivery is called strike three on a corner. So Meldon strikes out for the second time. This time, a called strike three. Two gone. The Coronado fourth. Here's Garrett Herman. No, it's actually Bruin Roulier. Roulier for the second inning in the number 6 spot. This is chance at plate. He singled last time up. 1 ball and no strikes to Bruin Roulier. Reeder comes to the plate. And it's a strike. This is the second time that Roulier has faced Reeder. He was the first batter up. And he singled off of Reeder. That third inning. And he hits one sharply down to third. Third baseman has a tough time. He'll have no play. As safely at first base is Roulier. And he has 2 straight singles as he's came into the game in the third. It's unofficial single. And a pinch runner. And looks like Garrett Herman is going to run for him. So with 2 outs, sends up to bat Jake Lamb. Jake has doubled, and he's singled in this game. He's 2 for 2. Scored twice. 2 out of the 8 runs for Coronado. Jake Lamb stepping in from the left side. Runner at first base in Roulier, who has now Garrett Herman running for him, and Herman gets back. Coronado, by virtue of the home run in this inning, gaining the lead by 1 run, 8-7. First time they have led in this game. As Rancho Penasquitos American jumped out to a 5-0 lead in the first inning. A throwback of Herman over at first base by Reeder. It's not in time. Reeder works to the plate, and Herman will steal it. So Herman comes in and steals a base halfway around the diamond. Lamb, who has been aboard safely twice with either double or single, and has scored twice. Up against it with Reeder right now. He wants to try and add to his team's lead. A base hit could do that. And he hits it foul. Just a little bit behind on that baseball. Still a couple of strikes on him. And Lamb has been tough. And just like Coronado finding Bondoc a tough out, Rancho Penasquitos American and finding maybe not the toughest out, but a tough out here, wanting to get out of this inning and shut down the damage. The pitch is hit down to third base. Third baseman has it, gloves it nicely. Long throw is in time, and they do just that. So they only allow the 1 run. They give up the lead. It's 8-7 as we go to the top of the 5th. Top of the 5th inning. Been a very entertaining intermediate division game of Little League Baseball. Andrew Reeder is the batter. First pitch is a ball. Next one is outside for ball 2. 2 home runs have been amassed in this game, both by the same player, Brandon Deppersmith. And will it be interesting to see whether they pitch to him the next time up. This one's hit hard to right field. It's going to be deep, and it will be foul. Reeder will try and straighten it out, trying to help himself out. Reeder has a walk, and he's been aboard on an infield single, 2 trips. Here in the 5th inning, Rancho Penasquitos American hits it to right field, and it's going to go all the way off the fence, and it will be a ground roll double for Andrew Reeder to help him and his team out here to start off the 5th inning. And thankfully that ball was a little bit to the left because the man, as you probably saw there in your picture, was there with his daughter as that ball hopped over the fence. So the tying run is at second base for Rancho Penasquitos American, who are behind for the first time in this game. Remember, they had a 5-0 lead. Here's Tyler Bridges. Bridges walked and scored in the first inning, and in the second inning, he grounded out. He hits it down to shortstop. Kozowski's going to be a long throw, and he overthrows the first baseman. And getting to second base will be Bridges on the error, and it's a tie game now. So the contact by both teams, or both players, I should say, in this inning has created the scenario. The ground rule double and the throwing error by the shortstop. So now the score is tied at 8 apiece. 16 runs have come across home plate combined in this game, and we're only in the 5th inning. And therein lies what I mentioned at the outset of the game. Both of these two teams can score. They're undefeated. District 32 action for 2013 in the intermediate division of Little League Baseball. Taking a lead off of second base here is Bridges. Pitch is outside to Tyler Cunningham. Cunningham started off the game pitching. We saw him watch a home run go over his head in the bottom half of the 4th inning as he's out in center field now. We hear the aircraft in the foreground. They're here in Mira Mesa, home of Marine Corps Air Station, Miramar. Station used to be in El Toro, and they moved from El Toro, Orange County, all the way down here to San Diego County. The pitch to Cunningham is hit hard and deep into right field. It's going to go over the fence for a home run. It's a 2-run home run, and now Rancho Penasquitos has a home run in this game as Cunningham will touch them all. So the team in all white have the lead now. They've tied the game and they have the lead again. Remember, they started off leading 5-0 in the first inning, and they've shown that they will not continue to make good on contact with a baseball. And that's exactly what they've done. Even though they had been stymied for the last 2 innings, this inning they said we're back. Tyler Cunningham's big home run there. Ground ball to shortstop. Kozowski's got the good strong arm. His throw is accurate, and he'll get the out of Mitch Crane. And Mitch has grounded out twice to the shortstop, Kozowski. Here's now Nick LaRosa. LaRosa has singled. He singled in the first inning, and then he grounded out to the first baseman. He's 1 for 2. Ten to 8, your score. Rancho Penasquitos has put more than 10 runs across the board in this intermediate division for 2013 in a game, and they're trying to do that today. As now they have LaRosa at first base with a solid single down the left field line. Don't know if there'll be a pitching change, but there is a position change right now. As now Jake Lamb is playing out in left field. And Heath Miller is now in center field. Nick LaRosa takes off the second base. Jake Keiliakoa still the batter in this spot, the 8th spot of the lineup. Keiliakoa popped out to first base his first time up. Keiliakoa offering on that pitch. Meldon, a long look at his catcher. Now the look back at second base, and Meldon comes to the plate. And Keiliakoa swings and can't get it. 2-2 now to Keiliakoa. Ten to 8 your score. Here in the fifth inning. And a good curveball. And the tag is applied as it got away from the catcher for a moment, but then he was able to apply the tag. Keiliakoa. Two outs in the inning. Derek Imperial, though, the batter. Imperial has struck out twice in that number 9 spot. First pitch is down too low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. La Rosa is going to head down to third base as it gets away from the catcher. Wild pitch. So La Rosa, 70 feet away from adding the 11th run. Rancho Penasquitos American. Hit hard down the right field line, but foul. Pitcher warming up for Coronado had to kind of get out of the way over there. And line drive by Imperial. Shadows almost engulfing the outfielders completely. And more than likely by the time this game is over, those shadows will creep all the way into the infield. But not a problem when the shadows are at your back. But the batter's eye is a different deal. And maybe because playing at this field is going to be something that's going to happen for district play, they might install lights. Called strike 3, Derek Imperial. And finally, 2 straight strikeouts for Meldon gets him out of the inning, but he gave up 3. He gave up a 3-run home run, and it is 10 to 8 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Coronado half of the 5th inning. They find themselves behind 10 to 8 after they had taken the lead going into the top of the inning. Correct English has took the lead, and a 3-run home run by Tyler Cunningham. And they find themselves behind. Again, like they were in the first inning. Not quite as many runs, but they were behind in the first inning. 5-0. So a seesaw affair here after you see the strike there to Jerry Pratt. And hit right back to the pitcher. Pitching now is Tyler Bridges, and Bridges able to record the out. So they got to run a home run in the last inning. Can Coronado answer here in the bottom of the 5th? Or will they get that inning where they do not score? And as you might have heard me earlier, Coronado could not put themselves in a situation where they would not score in an inning. And maybe the goose egg might be enough for Rancho Penasquitos American to stay ahead. We'll see. The way both of these two teams have been playing, neither of them can afford to have an inning where they don't produce a run. Miller hits it hard, but the third baseman makes a nice play. Nice play. Lurching over to his left is Nick La Rosa to grab the soft line drive and retire Heath Miller. F5 if you're keeping score for the second out of the inning. Top of the order, Nick Kozowski. He has made contact all 3 times up at the plate. He's 1 for 3. Fouls it away. And he scored a run. 0-1 to count, but this is the first time facing Tyler Bridges. Rancho Penasquitos American and manager Rob Miller hoping Bridges is the bridge for a victory. 1-1 now to count. Ben Williams waiting an opportunity on deck. In this 10-8 intermediate division of Little League Baseball, District 32, undefeated game. This one is hit, but Bonduck has a beat and he makes a play. Bonduck, who moved all the way from right field to left field, showing his fielding prowess to retire this side. And so we'll go to the 6th inning. It is still 10-8, Rancho Penasquitos American. Rancho Penasquitos American in the top of the 6th inning now. Top of the order. Line drive, caught by Kozowski. He goes to his left, and just like De La Rosa is able to make a fine play. Of a soft line drive. Hit off the bat at Kelton Stoll. Here's Connor Bonduck. They were able to retire him the last time for the first time in a game. He still made contact and hit it to center field. He is 2 for 3 trips. Melton still up on the hill. Coronado hit hard down to third base. Third baseman has it. A long throw. Is it time? And for the second time, they retire Bonduck. Nice good throw across the diamond for the second out of the inning. Now here comes the pitcher, Reeder. And I say the pitcher at one time, Reeder. Bridges is now in there pitching. Hits it hard to center field. Center fielder makes a play. And they go 3 up and 3 down. Nice play by Heath Miller, ranging over to his right towards left field to make the play. 10-8 your score as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Sixth inning for Coronado. Ben Williams, the batter. Ten to 8 your score. Rancho Penasquitos leading Coronado. Buoyed by 5 runs in that first inning. Fell behind, but found a way to regain the lead on the big home run by Tyler Cunningham in the 5th. Bridges retiring the side. in the last inning. He's trying to do the same. And in this last inning here, and of course into the seventh, the dynamic, that ball coming to home plate and not being able to get that baseball as the shortstop. Didn't get the glove down, so Ben Williams is aboard. And as a pitcher, you don't want leadoff guy aboard. Using baseball doesn't bode well. And especially when you got number 61 coming to the plate, Brandon Deppersmith. He's hit 2 home runs, been hit by the pitch one time, and I don't think it's because they thought he was going to hit home runs right after that. He has scored 3 times. Pitch by Bridges is a careful one on the outside corner for a strike. If he hits a home run here, the game will be tied again in a seesaw affair. Can't give him a lot of that bat with a ball. In other words, you cannot allow him to get to the sweet spot of the bat, because if he does, it's going to go for the big fly over the fence. He's already proven it. Bridges, very careful. Comes set. Works to the plate. Fouled away. Getting another strike on Deppersmith. And if they can get him to expand the strike zone and strike out, that would be huge. They may not see him again in this game. And therein lies the major damage against Rancho Penasquitos American for Coronado. The throw back of Ben Williams. He gets back. Drama time here. Tough, though, because the shadows have crept between the pitcher's mound and home plate. Fouled away. Tough to see the baseball as well. So on the other side of the coin, Deppersmith has to work against normal light here. Breeze blowing towards right field. And Bridges being very careful, throwing it away from the plate. Gets a little ribbing by the Coronado All-Stars, wanting him to pitch to him. But you have to be careful when he's hit 2 home runs in the game. And you know it's a 2-run deficit that they're behind in. And very careful, and the throw is going to be late. And getting over to second base is Ben Williams. So getting a solid base hit would help as well for head coach Rob Miller of Deppersmith, because then they'd be only 1 run down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bridges comes to the plate, throws it way away from the plate again. And you can see he's bothered by having to be careful with Deppersmith as he's faced him for the first time in this game. Bridges comes set, takes a look at second base, comes to the plate, and it's popped up way deep, and it's going to be a home run, a 3-run home run. You seldom see that in Little League Baseball or any baseball division. Brandon Deppersmith has touched the ball again, and his team will be tied at 10. I don't know how many home runs he hit during the regular season. I don't know what he's done as far as the District 32 play, but I know what he's done in this game. 3 home runs. His team now is tied at 10. And Tyler Bridges was trying to do everything he could to keep from allowing him to get the big fly. And he could not keep him from getting it. He came towards the plate, and Deppersmith was able to ride it for another home run in this game. And Coronado is even again. Colin Douglas going to try to get things going so they can gain a lead again. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. And Rancho Penasquitos American has tried everything they could pitching-wise to keep Coronado from doing what they've done in this game, and it has not worked. So maybe the scenario is going to have to be that they're going to have to try to win it themselves in the 7th inning, trying to put runs on the board and see if you can catch them. But with the light going away in this game, there may not be a 7th inning. We'll have to see. Game already over, 2 hours old plus. But understandably, with 20 home runs that have come across the plate for combined teams, it sets the record for intermediate division baseball. Again, this is the first year of intermediate division. This is the only district that has it. And so they'll set the records that'll have to be matched or exceeded by other teams. But this one is the first one that goes down in the record books as the big game between both teams. Undefeated coming into this game. Both could put runs on the board, and they've shown that in this one. Douglas hits it hard into left field. And the left fielder comes up with it. McKenna Gentry staying with that baseball and making sure that he doesn't get an extra base. But he hit that ball hard into left field. Colin Douglas for a solid single. Just checking the archives, this is the first time ever that a single player has hit 3 home runs in a game. Since 1987, George Langevin Productions has been around for 25 years doing youth sports, and this is the first time. So going down in the history books of George Langevin Productions, on video is Brandon Deppersmith. Hit up at the home plate, and is it foul? It is. Bridges could not get to it. Nobody out in this inning, and therein lies maybe the game might be called because there are no lights here. It wouldn't be fair to either team to play in the darkness. And therein lies maybe sponsors or maybe even the big team. Talking about the Padres coming up with money to help some of these fields with portable lighting in the future. Especially for all-star games of the district level. Or even the sectional level for that matter. Meldon wants to help himself out. Pitch to him. He did not go. The advantage now, at least for the batter, is that he doesn't have to deal with the pitcher having an advantage of the sunlight and a ball coming out of his hand in sunlight to dark area. They say he did go. Meldon striking out for the first out of the inning. Here's Bruin Roulier. One out now. Runner at first base. The throw down at second base, and it is a little bit late. Colin Douglas gets down there safely. Nice steal for Colin. Of course, the game has slowed down quite a bit, and of course, at this point, it's not what you want to see. Both teams are up against it with a light. Herman. And therein lies the situation with an intermediate division game always having some sort of light opportunities because, again, you're talking about pitchers who have to deal with a player trying to steal the base. And it takes more time in a game, especially if both teams are hitting the baseball. And that's exactly what you have in this district game. 20 runs coming across home plate. Bridges being very careful, and obviously so. Brandon Deppersmith going yard. The big 2-run home run. Tying up the game. Go-ahead run. Douglas at second base, and getting a walk now is Roulier. So Roulier is at first, Douglas at second. And we'll see who is coming to the plate. So you have a runner at first base, Roulier. It's Garrett Herman, who did so the last inning. Jake Lamb is going to still be the batter. Lamb has singled and doubled and grounded out in his last trip. He's 2 for 3. We're able to get him out for the first time. You're Rancho Penasquitos American. You've got to find a way to get him out here. Pitch is inside for a ball. 1 out, 2 runners aboard. Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. They play 7 in intermediate baseball. This would be okay if they only played 6. They play 7, and Lamb is hit by the pitch, and now bases are loaded. Douglas at third. Roulier, or rather Garrett Herman, is at second base. And being hit by the pitch, the second player hit by the pitch for Coronado in this game, and Lamb is at first. No, Lamb not as bad as Deppersmith, who basically lit a fire after that, hit 3 straight home runs in 3 trips. Jared Pratt, batter. Officials in the game will definitely be talking about whether or not they want to go on with the 7th inning right after this one. That way it would give a full inning to both teams. Bridges comes to the plate and catches the outside corner. Like I said, only one out. The bases are loaded for Coronado. Tied up in this game at 10 apiece. Trying to take the lead and go with maybe a 2-run or 3-run lead. But Bridges striking out Pratt. And now there are 2 gone. Called strike. And now here's Heath Miller. Bridges in a big jam, trying to wiggle himself out of it. Bridges has grounded out. He did so in his second inning. Then he walked in the third, and he grounded out to third base on a nice play by the third baseman. And guess who's over there now? Bondoc. But this one is hit, and Bondoc is going to make the play. No, he drops it in foul territory. Bondoc, who has been fabulous defensively and offensively, and he can't hold on to that one. And he'll give Heath Miller another chance. And that might have been because very little light. Don't know. Only Bondoc knows. Miller, another opportunity. With 2 gone and the bases loaded. And again, another dynamic. Again, these are 11 and 12-year-olds that's having to deal with the runner who could come down the line. And maybe that bothered Bondoc a little bit. Tough to tell. Miller knows all of this and wants to use it to his advantage. So do his teammates. Tied up at 10. And backing off the pitcher's rubber is Bridges. Tyler wants to make sure his pitches are the one he wants. Trying to get the good grip on a baseball as he just did there with his hands on his pants. Going to go to third base. Did they get him? They got him! They picked off the runner at third base, and Bondoc was the one who applied the tag, and it's tied at 10, and we'll just find out whether or not we go to a 7th inning. Well, the officials for District 32 have decided to play the 7th inning. I don't know whether they'll just see how far they can take it, but we are totally without any sunlight here, so both teams will just have to decide how far they can go. Maybe about a half an hour at most. So we're playing in darkness. Bridges lead it off for Rancho Penasquitos American in a 10-10 game. There's been just about everything in this Little League game. And a lot of it is extra because it's the intermediate division, the 50-70. First time ever in the district. Swung on and hit foul. Into the other field where nobody's playing. Well, no actual organized teams, just kids playing. Maybe they've been inspired by this game to play a little baseball. America's pastime. Bridges watches it outside. Boy, he had to make the pitches on the hill to get out of a major jam with the bases loaded. Stranding 3 for Coronado. A good pickoff attempt. And it being successful as Bondoc applied the tag to take a runner off of the base paths at third base. The game that was adjacent behind this field is over with. And those players are saying, hey, I'll stick around and watch this one. Tough to do it when there's no snack bar around that I can see. And Bridges strikes out. So Bridges strikes out swinging. Here's Tyler Cunningham. Cunningham, and at first he walked. In the second, he struck out. Then he hit the 3-run home run in the 5th inning. That was huge. That's why his team is tied right now, and not counting how many outs they got left for a loss in this one. See what he does here. Golf's at the first pitch, 0-1. Cunningham hit the 3-run home run with Reeder and Bridges aboard. There's a thought in this district they may have to move the games up a little bit to 5 o'clock rather than 5:30 start time. Fouled away now. Meldon ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch down too low for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Meldon came in the 2nd inning and has gone ever since. This one is hit to the 3rd baseman. He has it. His throw is a good one and records the out. 5-3 if you're keeping score here in the 7th inning. So 2 gone. Here's Mitch Crane. Crane, in the 1st inning, was aboard on fielder's choice. He scored 1 of the 10 runs for his team. Then he grounded out in the 3rd and grounded out in the 5th. 0 for 3. Scored a run, though. First pitch to him is a strike. And Meldon saying, I want to get into the bench there with my teammates. Still tied. And a quick inning. And that's what he's working on right now. Swung on and missed. 0-2 to Mitch Crane in the number 6 spot. The 0-2 pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Mitch Crane. Nick LaRosa is on deck waiting his opportunity. Not able to get anything in the 6th inning. And not able to get anything in the 7th inning is Rancho Penasquitos American. And now Coronado has their chance to win the game and not have it go into extras. I doubt they will play extras if it's still tied, so we'll see. 10-10. Don't go away. So we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It is 10-10 between Coronado All-Stars and Rancho Penasquitos American All-Stars. Coronado's chance to try to win the game as they were able to stymie Rancho Penasquitos for the 2nd inning in a row with no runs. And a bunt attempt there by the batter. Must be a replacement for Kozlowski, unless it was Heath Miller. No, it was Heath Miller because Miller. And he's batting from the right side this time, and he hits a slow roller to the first base. First baseman bobbles it, and he's not going to be in time. Heath Miller, who got another opportunity off the pickoff play by Bridges, starts the inning off and then is able to get aboard on an error. And you don't want to have the leadoff man aboard. And Miller, being the leadoff man, does not want to be the guy picked off of a base, like what happened to Coronado in the last inning. Ben Williams, the batter. The throw, and they're trying to erase him. And he gets back in time with the head first slide. Remember, they can do that in intermediate division, as I mentioned before. That's the difference between the majors, which this district decided to replace the majors with the intermediate. And the reason for that is, how do you get the all-stars from both divisions? It makes it tough. Miller says, I'm going to get down to second base on a straight steal. So Miller takes off. Kozlowski the batter. Nick, who in the first inning grounded out. He singled in the second. He was aboard on a fielder's choice in the third, and in the fifth, he flied out to left field. A fly ball would move Heath Miller over to third. And a strike. Supply. Bridges looking back. Heath Miller goes to the plate and is fouled away. Kozlowski trying to protect the plate. Kozlowski also started the game pitching for his team. He's made good defensive plays. He wants to try to help win the game right here, if not win it with a big fly. And that would be called a walk-off. I've only seen one walk-off home run that I could remember in Little League Baseball. That was the 8th inning of a Del Mar Little League game a couple of years ago. It was in the 8th inning. They only play normally 6. The great game went over the center field fence. It's like we saw earlier. A couple of flies go over the center field fence. Deppersmith. And this one is hit high in the air. The left fielder, Bondoc, he almost came in too far, but he was able to stop in time, showing his balance and ability to play out there in the outfield, and he records the out. So Kozlowski flies out to left field for the second straight time. Here's Ben Williams now. Williams, he struck out swinging in the first. He doubled in the second. He grounded out in the third. In the 6th inning, it was a board on the shortstop's error. And if you're Rancho Penasquitos American, you can't afford to make errors now, as the winning run is standing at second base. The pitch is outside. Williams. One out here in the bottom of the 7th inning for Coronado. It's a strike now to Ben Williams. Lights have come on around us. No lights here. Therein lies your picture not as being as bright as before and darker every minute. As we do not have lights ourselves. Bridges thinking about every pitch, trying to keep that arm loose as it gets cooler and cooler as well. Not much of a breeze moving the flag at all. Strike, an all-important one by Bridges. Williams, an opportunity to be a hero in this District 32 action for 2013 of the Intermediate Division. First time ever, Intermediate. 50-70 ball, they call it, and striking out has been Williams. Two gone. And now a decision about Deppersmith. And Bridges is not going to pitch to him. They're going to get somebody else to pitch to him. It's going to be Kelton Stoll And we'll be back after he gets his warm-up tosses. Well, now the Rancho Penasquitos American players are coming over to their manager in Coronado. No players are on the field now, and maybe they may call it right here with 1 out left in the bottom of the 7th inning. And a 10-10 game. It wouldn't hurt either team because it's still 10-10. And even if Coronado doesn't score, you're going to go into extra innings as well. But Coronado might feel that, hey, we could win this game and be in the winner's bracket. And therein lies all the discussion. It's a precarious scenario, the first one ever for intermediate baseball in this county, because this is the first, as I mentioned before, ever intermediate division tournament for the All-Stars. So if the game is called and suspended, as it is suspended, it will be the first time ever that it has been suspended, any game in District 32 Intermediate Division of Baseball. And on George Langevin Video Sports Productions as well. So it is a precedent, and it's a betterment of the youngsters that this happens. And so why not? Because this has been a fabulous game, and it's just some parameters that have been created now with the players being able to steal, pitchers taking a little bit longer to deliver the pitch, and in this case, both teams being able to hit the baseball all over the diamond. And so you have some dynamics that are going to have to be added into play in all the different districts of the various counties in America. I'm Greg G.K. Porter for George Langevin on a video camera, saying take care of yourself as always. God bless. Bye now from a darkened Mira Mesa field. So Heath Miller will be at second base in this resumed game the day after yesterday in a fabulous game that had to be halted. And 10-10 was the score. Kelton Stoll is the pitcher for Rancho Penasquitos in this intermediate level game. The 50-70. And Brandon Deppersmith is the batter for Coronado. And at first pitch is high. And I don't know if they're trying to walk him. Maybe so. Brandon Deppersmith has hit 3 home runs in this game. He basically was a fire starter back in the second inning, as they are going to intentionally walk him. And you've got to be something real special in Little League for you to be walked in a game that is resumed due to darkness the day before. You would think that maybe this is a different day and we can find a way to not have the damage happen to us, but that's not going to be the case, as the head coach, or as the manager, Colin Stoll, is going to walk and allow 2 runners aboard for Coronado and manager Rob Miller. So you got runners at first and second now with 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. The continuation of a fabulous Little League game yesterday. Stoll rocks and deals at his first pitch. Is a strike, catches the outside corner to Colin Douglas. Douglas has grounded out He is also singled in this game. The next pitch to him is outside. Now it's 1-1. Douglas did not score in the game played yesterday. That is resumed today. And the next pitch is outside to him now, and so Stoll is falling behind. He had that leadoff curveball for a strike at first pitch. To Douglas. Douglas wants to do something here with runners on first and second. The pitch to him is hit well, deep, and it is going to be caught at the fence. Oh, a nice catch at the fence to rob Douglas from giving his team a 3-run lead. And now Rancho Penasquitos, who's tied at 10-10, will have the opportunity in the top of the 8th inning to see what they can do to try and take the lead. Nice catch over there in left field. And both teams have shown their ability to catch the baseball at the fence. There's just been great defense in this game, but there's also been great offense in this Little League 50-70 game. Well, here we go, the top of the 8th inning. 10-10. Rancho Penasquitos with their opportunity here. Facing Colin Douglas on the mound. Nick LaRosa, the batter. Pitch LaRosa is hit to the right side, and being able to make the play at the last moment, shuffling it over to his pitcher, is Garrett Herman. Had a little troubles with it there, Garrett, but he finally got that baseball over to his first baseman and able to conclude the at-bat there for LaRosa. So the 10-10 game here in the top of the 8th inning. 1 out. Sepa, the batter. Douglas's next pitch is down too low in the dirt. Sepa struck out twice and grounded out in yesterday's part of this 50-70 interleague match. Next pitch is an off-speed pitch, but rides a little bit too high, so it allows Sepa to get a walk. So Sepa is at first base, and now it is Derek Imperial. Imperial with 1 out and a runner at first base. Douglas, the off-speed pitch is bunted at, and faking in the throw down at second base was Douglas, but he goes over to first to his first baseman, who makes the play, and now it is 2 outs. And that one scored 1-3. And you go to the top of the order. Here's Kelton Stoll. Stoll has struck out, walked, grounded out in the 4th inning, and in the 6th inning, he flied out to shortstop. Hit a line drive. First pitch to him is a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. To Kelton Stoll. Stoll would like to have an opportunity to score again. He scored once. He did that again in the 2nd inning on that walk. Sepa down there at second base, wanting to have an opportunity to bring in the go-ahead run. A little bit behind on that pitch, and he fouls it away over the fans watching on the side of Coronado. Delivery's way too high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to the man at the top of the order, Kelton Stoll. Young man calls timeout. "50 feet between the pitcher's rubber and home plate, and 70 feet between home plate and first base, and each of the bases thereafter." Unlike the 40 feet 6 inches in your normal Little League baseball majors, and then 60 feet between the base paths. Pitch to the lefty is outside, and he'll get a walk. So Kelton Stoll, who is still the pitcher of record, gets his 2nd walk of the game. And therein lies that opportunity to bring across that run I was forementioning. One out still in the inning, or 2 outs in the inning, rather. And Connor Bondock, the batter. Bondock hits one down to the shortstop, and just getting there in time to retire the side was Nick Kozowski. Nice play by Nick, ranging over to the bag and then able to be fleet of foot to tap the bag before Stoll could get there. Bottom of the 8th inning now. Coronado wants to see what they can do to try and win this game. Stoll still up there on the hill. August Meldon, the batter, struck out 3 times, but he doubled in that 1st inning. And Meldon hits this ball all the way to center field for a base hit. So he gets his 2nd base hit of the game. So Meldon is at first base now with a nice single into center field. And it'll bring up to bat number 26, Garrett Herman. Garrett Herman's already singled in this game, and he has walked. When he singled, he scored there in the 3rd inning. And that helped his team, obviously, in the case of being tied and having the opportunity to go into to play another day as a part of this game. 10-10 your score, and a throw down to second base. And stealing second is August Meldon. So Meldon now is in scoring position, and that's what you want if you're the manager, Rob Miller. And at coaching staff, Jim Deppersmith and J.D. Douglas. So let's see what Garrett Herman can do for himself and his team. And that pitch took a little bit off of it, and it was fouled away. Kelton Stoll trying to keep Coronado at bay here in this District 32 intermediate Little League game, the 50-70. Stoll has his sign. And now comes to the plate. A little bit high and outside. Taking a little bit of a lead, as you can see there, is Meldon. That's the beauty of what you can do. This ball is hit deep. Back Osepa, left field, and it's a home run! A big home run over the left field wall. He did it like Deppersmith, and just like Deppersmith, contributing. And this time, this home run is one for the ages for Coronado in intermediate level baseball as they win a thrilling game between they and Rancho Penasquitas. Great action in this game, and you almost don't want to see it end because both teams have played great defense, as I alluded to before. They've had a superb offense when they've needed it. They have been resilient. They have found a way to make it happen when they've been down in the game. And Coronado was down big time early in this game, and they kept fighting and fighting, showing what kind of spirit they have in 2013 to try and see if they can move on in District 32 intermediate level all-star play. So we hope you enjoyed everything here. And the final score, it's Coronado 12, Rancho Penasquitas American 10. I'm Greg G.K. Porter for George Landman Video Sports Productions with George on the camera saying take care of yourself as always. God bless, and remember to just save this one on your hard drive. Bye now from Mira Mesa.